Today we will be reviewing the Marvel Legends Michael Morbius, the living vampire. I'm super excited to get into this figure. I picked up two other figures from this wave, the Venom and the Absolute Carnage, the only ones I've gotten my hands on so far. This wave is looking incredible. I'm super excited to get the rest of it so I can collect that VenomPool. Here's a quick look at the Michael Morbius box. You get the logo at the bottom, nothing at the top, some side art, and the back of the box. If you want to read it, pause it now. I've been waiting a really long time to get these figures. It feels like forever. It's probably only been about a month and a half. And it's the white deco, just like the last Venom wave and the Agent Anti-Venom figure that was released. I do like that they're going with these white boxes with the symbiote design for most of the Venom figures. Of course, the Venom film figure, which is different, although it released with this wave, is technically not in the Build-A-Figure line, is released in a black box. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open. Alright, here is the Michael Morbius figure out of the packaging. Now, before we actually get into talking about the figure, let's talk about his accessories, which are almost non-existent other than this cape. So we get this kind of torn up cape. I do like this cape a lot. I like the ripping. It kind of looks like, I don't know why, it just looks like a curtain that's been torn. But it does look good. They've textured it throughout, so it's like rippled. It's not too movable, so it's kind of going to stay that way. But the nice thing about this cape is it doesn't really get in the way. And it ports on very nicely. It doesn't get in the way of anything. It's kind of just like a solid pinkish purple. And I find sometimes Legends figures, you kind of have to move around and bend to the cape's will, because sometimes the figures don't look good without the cape, and the cape's very picky. I don't find that's the case with this cape at all. I feel like it totally works with this Morbius figure. It doesn't get in the way, and you can pop it off pretty easily, and you still get that effect. But lack of accessories is a little bit disappointing. Even a swappable head where he doesn't look like a crazed maniac would have been very nice. But now that we've actually looked at its only accessory, if you consider a cape an accessory, let's get into the actual figure. Now let's take a look at the Morbius figure. I've had a little bit of time to play around with it, and I really do like it. So the look at the head sculpt, which is pretty important. So let's take a look. Although we didn't get a second head sculpt, which I'm a little disappointed by, because I'm just fixing my lighting. I would have ideally liked the second head sculpt just so that we could really get a good kind of neutral face, some more range, but we kind of got this like monster look, so let's take a look at it. So you get this texturing on the face to kind of make him look a little bit aged, a little creepier. It looks like the hair is a completely separate piece, which I like. As you can see, the neck has a little bit of creasing. The hair has a lot of texture on it. They do a lot of texturing to give it depth, and even at the back, it's kind of it's not sharp, it's like individual strands. It like surprised me when I grabbed it, but like they really give it that depth on the hair. The eyes are super clean. So if I really don't like when eyes don't look good, and these eyes look really good. So you kind of get that blood red eyes. And I don't see any red or any white creeping over anywhere. It just looks very clean. They were very careful with it. You have those teeth. The teeth look fantastic. They're very well defined. And then the mouth, again, I would have liked a more, and then you kind of get like this white, very pale white paint for the head. Again, I would have liked an alternate head sculpt. It just would have been nice to get that range in the figure, but nonetheless, I'm still happy about this Morbius head sculpt and how it's looking. Okay, so for the body, I don't know why, reminds me of a lot of like a 70s metal artist. I don't know why, but I do really dig it. So let's take the cape off to take a good look at it. So you have these zippers, and I think those look cool. They remind me of Ghost Rider a bit. You have these zippers and that fold back button. They're textured on. Everything seems to be textured on this piece, again, to give it more depth. You have the buckle, so it does look like a totally separate layer. It's pretty basic on the back. You do have a bit of texturing. The belt is really nice. The belt, again, it feels like a separate piece, but it's actually a way to swivel, which is very nice. I do think it is a separate piece. I don't think it's glued on. I think it's just placed on, and it looks really good. The arms are just following that kind of dark, I would say purple, coloring for the clothing, and it goes into the hands, and the hands kind of stop and become narrow, as you can see, kind of like claws. Again, it stays very consistent with that purple paint, although it was white skin. There's not really too much to talk about on the hands. The legs, same same thing. This, I believe these legs are used a lot. But it's very thorough. Purple paint, not as much detail put into it. Of course, you get the cone on the back. Not as much detail on it, on the paint. But it still looks very good. So that's kind of like a quick overview of what the figure's looking like. I do like the detail that they put into it. It definitely convinces me, and it's going to look really nice in the collection. Okay, so the articulation is very good on this Morbius figure. His head can look up an amazing amount. It can look down very well as well, so you get really good head range. Obviously, you can 360. It's on a ball joint. I don't suggest trying to switch the heads, as there's already creasing on mine, which is never a good sign. There's almost no head pivot. There might be a little bit of head tilt. I wouldn't necessarily call that pivot. The arms can move up about that much. They double joint at the elbow. They have nice ankle rotation, 360. There is a swivel in the bicep. You get double jointed. No, I would say that's about a single jointed ab, just because it's the crunch is stopped by the belt or the corset or whatever you want to call it. It can crunch back one click as well. That's about 2 clicks of a crunch back. It can kick forward a lot. It can kick to the side even more. It can kick back not a lot. It is stopped by the Morbius cheekage. Why did I? Okay. It does have a swivel in the leg, which looks good. Double jointed knees. If you force them, you can make them double joint. Maybe you can't make them double jointed. I didn't look at that. Not quite double joint. They definitely, yeah, they are double jointed, but it just looks like mine won't go fully, but you can bend them in. I might have to heat that up a bit. There is a boot cut, which I do like to see. There's some nice ankle pivot. The feet can move it can click up, it can click down. So very good range in the Morbius action figure. Overall, I really like this Morbius action figure. It does the job. It's a convincing Morbius figure. It looks really good in the collection and will look great alongside some of the newer figures. I don't have the classic looking version from the Absorbing Man wave, so I can't really compare, but I'm very happy with this figure being added to the Venom wave. It's just another great figure that makes this wave even more attractive to collect. Overall, I would give it a 7.5. The reason I'm giving it a 7.5 is not just because of the figure itself, it's also because, unfortunately, there was a lack of accessories, and I feel like we could have gotten quite a few more accessories. I'm not complaining, I just ideally would have liked a few more things, maybe some of that phantom effect we see from the Morbius trailer. Overall, though, I really do enjoy this action figure, and I'd recommend this Morbius figure if you are looking to put the living vampire in your collection. Here's Dr. Michael Morbius next to Spider-Man from the Vintage line. Now, the Spider-Man Vintage line figure, the box is actually from, the box design is from the early 90s, or no, sorry, late 90s, like 1996 animated Spider-Man show. A show I grew up and watched a lot and really enjoyed. And actually the first time that I was introduced to Dr. Michael Morbius was through that show. So it's really cool to see these two figures side by side. I think they look great, and I do really like that height comparison. Here's Dr. Michael Morbius next to the black-suited Spider-Man. This is actually not the Sandman line Spider-Man. This is the Kraven the Last Hunt 2-pack Spider-Man. And if I could ask for anything, I would love to get a black-suited Spider-Man with this Spidey mold. I think it would just translate amazing. And although I do really love the Pizza Spider-Man mold, I think I'm ready for an update. Here's Dr. Michael Morbius next to Cletus Cassidy's Carnage. This Carnage figure was released in 2018, I believe, along with the Venom title. And it is an awesome figure, although it just got updated. I'm very excited to get that Absolute Carnage out of the packaging. But the accessories, I'm hoping, will also go with the Absolute Carnage. And now for one last figure comparison, here's Dr. Michael Morbius next to the last Venom Waves Build-A-Figure, the Monster Venom, or the Matt Gargan Venom. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video and you want to help me out, please hit the like button. Comment if there's anything I could improve on in my review, and let me know which review you're most excited for in the the VenomPool wave. Ooh, brain fart. And also, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content just like this. Now, make sure you stick around for the photos at the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace!